Hey, it's a long time since I made my last cookery video, which was probably about 18 months ago when we were still living in Hounslow. But since then we've moved to East Kent. We live on the Isle of Thanet now, by the sea, and it's amazing. I have a new fantastic kitchen. The first recipe I'm going to do since we've moved here is a mushroom and celery soup. Now this one is completely plant-based and vegan friendly. I've got some of my ingredients already prepped. I've got some sweet potato, which I've chopped, and I'm going to put this in a slow cooker. We're going to do this in a slow cooker today. And I've also got some celery sticks. These are I've washed, so I'm going to start to chop these into fairly small pieces. I've also got a leek. Now the way to clean leeks is you split them down the middle and open them up and wash them like that, because otherwise the dirt inside can stay in and then you've got a gritty taste. So it's always important to slit open the leek and then wash it before you chop it. So I've washed this leek and now I'm chopping it into fairly small pieces. I've also got some mushrooms. Now I don't eat mushrooms, I'm allergic to mushrooms, but my husband loves mushroom soup. Now these need to be also cleaned, but the way to do this is not to wash them, but to either wipe them, or you can use a special mushroom brush which you can get from all good cookware shops. I don't have one, so I used a clean piece of extra strong kitchen towel which I damped down, and I cleaned them like that to remove any bits of soil and any little imperfections. So I'm going to cut these next. So I've put the celery and potato and the chopped leek in the slow cooker, and now I'm going to start chopping the mushrooms. I'm just slicing them like that, and then I will be adding those to the pot. So in here now we've added the mushrooms. There's a punnet there, so we're probably talking about 200 grams or so. And I'm going to also add some seasonings and flavourings. I've got here some frozen chopped coriander here, which is just as good as fresh, because sometimes you get fresh coriander and it can go off pretty quickly. So I'm going to add some chopped coriander to the pot. And I'm also going to add some frozen chopped garlic. This also saves a lot of chopping. It's all labour saving ideas. It's really fresh garlic that's just been quick frozen to keep in the freshness. And lastly, I'm going to add some stock. You can use a stock cube. There's a vegan friendly stock cube in here. And you can also use vegetable water. So when you steam your vegetables, always save the water, don't throw anything away. All resources are very precious. We live in a very throwaway society, and that seems such a shame, just to throw away things that have goodness in them. So I'm going to add a pint of that, and I'll probably add some extra water as well, because there's not quite enough there in the pot. You want it to come up to about here, just to cover the mushrooms, just about there. And then we're going to set this pan onto the high setting, and we're going to leave it for a few hours. This model is a bit slower than the other one I've got, but it's larger. And we're going to leave this for a few hours until all the vegetables are nice and tender. At this point as well, if you want to add a drop of brandy, you can add a drop of brandy, or you can even add a drop of sherry as well. But remember, a lot of wines are not vegan friendly, so you need to check with your wine merchant to make sure that whatever you're using is suitable for vegans. So this has been cooking now for about 3.5 hours. and it's tender. So just before I switch it off, I'm going to pick off stalks of some wild garlic leaves. And this is very much like spinach, it cooks very, very quickly. We're just going to wilt it down in the slow cooker with the vegetables, and then we'll turn it off. So these have been washed and de-stalked. I'm going to put those in and just give it a bit of a stir. They will wilt down in a matter of 30 seconds. It looks like they're done. I'm going to turn it off now. So the next stage we need to do is to blend up the soup and correct any seasoning. We used a stock cube, so I didn't add any extra salt and pepper. So this might be the time when we need to do that. What I've tended to do is, when I've blended it, to put it into a bowl, and then when it's all collected I can return it to the pan and heat it up. Switched the slow cooker back on. It's been on for about 20 minutes. I always find it does better if you preheat it. It will reheat your soup, especially with this one, because as I said earlier, it is a bit on the slow side. So I've poured the blended soups back in here, and at this point we're going to taste to check the seasoning. I'll give it my beloved. Does it need any more seasoning?
Spot on.
Spot on. So we will heat this up for about half an hour, and then we should be ready to serve it. Half an hour is passed, and I'm just going to pour a little bit into a bowl. And there we have it. Beautiful mushroom and celery soup with wild garlic.